Hey everyone, I'm back with the exam prep video, and in this video we'll talk about IIT JAM 2022 and how we can modulate our study plan for this exam. So in the last video we talked about the overview of it, and in this video we are going to talk about the details. We'll talk about the resources, what books to read, how you can plan your time, how you can plan your day, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so stay tuned till the end of this video. It would be super beneficial for you. Okay, so before we start the video, this study plan should be customized. That means your study plan and my study plan should be completely different, right? Because both of us don't have the same weak points. So we'll start and list all the points that we need to know while start preparing for this exam. So last year it was conducted by IISc, and this year, that means IIT JAM 2022, would be conducted by IIT Roorkee. So you must be a little bit confused, like where to start from, how much time is sufficient, what resources to use. So all of these things would be discussed in this video. So the biggest question you guys have in your mind that, okay, right now there is 1 year of time. Shall I take any tuition or self-study should be enough? So these kind of questions would be addressed in this video, right? So let's begin. So before you start, this phase I would call a pre-start. Okay, so in this situation you should first analyze the question paper. So this is the biggest it's the game changer, I would say. So take 1 month of time to analyze IIT JAM question trend. You know, the seat matrix is very stringent in case of IIT JAM, so it would be difficult to get in. It would be difficult for anybody to get in, right? So you have to be very much strategic in terms of preparation. So knowing things, building your concept is a different thing than qualifying an exam, right? So analyze the trend right now. Okay, once you have identified any trend, identified the frequently asked questions, then go a little bit broader, that which topics they ask, and spend your 70% of your effort preparing that. Use all the audiovisual cues that you can use for preparing these portions, because audiovisual learning is always better and it would create a long-term memory in your brain. Then touch the remaining part later on, and then all the time you should reassess your learning procedure by giving several tests or self-assessments. So this is the overall framework. You can do it by yourself. You can take the help of any tuition. Now, there are many people who want some hand-holding. They can take tuitions. If you think that you are sufficient, you have that confidence, then go for self-study. I did self-study. During my time, there was no tuitions available. So I can really discuss about all of these things in details later on. But if you want a little bit hand-holding, I'll tell you how to do it. So start looking at the question paper and sort out the chapters now. So let me tell you that what are the most important topics in physics. So you make a timeline and try to see the question frequency, from which chapters they ask. So I already did something for you, but you have to do it by yourself, and in that process you would analyze the trend, you would learn. Okay, so you can pause the video at any moment to get a sense that which chapters are important. For example, in biology you have a nice trend, year-wise trend, right? But you have to make it to analyze the question paper better. So always good to have a good dedicated set of friends, and together you can start analyzing these trends at the beginning of your preparation. Now, there are a lot of online resources that can help you. So let me introduce you to Unacademy. So Unacademy provides a lot of free lectures. So let me tell you what is free, such that you can go, you can try. Before taking any subscription, you should try, right? You should always try before you buy. So there are a lot of online test classes, etc. that would be happening in Unacademy. And there would be a lot of classes by me as well. So my schedule would be updated later on. So I'll keep you posted. But there are regular test series. You can see the dates, and you can see that almost every Saturday there would be online test. There would be 30 MCQs. You can test your preparation during that particular week, right? So So in order to access this particular lessons, you can use my code AP10 or you can use IITJAM10, and you can easily access these things without subscribing to the platform. You just have to download the app and get into these resources. These resources apply for mathematics, chemistry, physics, biotechnology, all of them. So if you have a friend who is doing physics or chemistry, you can always tell them about these free resources. It's good to know and good to share with your friends such that they can also join and get the benefit out of it, right? Okay, so just like I'm giving you some customized prep tips, there are other educators which can really help you out with these things. Personalized mentoring and also Ask a Doubt feature of Unacademy would really help your preparation throughout. So the overall goal of using these kind of online resources is to prevent passive learning. When you start doing passive learning, you end up falling asleep, right? And that happens to all of us. We know it. But we should do active learning with some platform. Like when the educator is teaching you, then what happens? You are forced to think in that direction, or you are forced to do something, so you engage more, right? Otherwise you would have a WhatsApp or you would have a Facebook notification, your mind would get deviated. So these things really matter. So all of you guys cannot really cannot really like avoid these kind of situations of social media and etc., but you should learn how to manage it better. Okay, so let me tell you the details of biology preparation. So for example, after analyzing the trend, you found out that there are few topics in cell biology which is very important. So you group them into several bins, and what you are going to do under these broad headings, you would sort out topics, and then each of these topics you would be learning in details. So first customize your study planner based on the exam trends and then start learning. Otherwise, what is the biggest mistake that we do? We start learning from the first of the chapter to the end of the chapter, right? And what happens is we get lost. We don't know why we are reading this whole chapter. We don't know what to read, where to start from, etc., etc. So these are really important, guys. So for example, I would devote roughly 2 weeks for cell signaling and all of these things, because I know each and every year there is at least one question which is asked from cell signaling. So obviously if I get this concept clearly and there are limited signaling pathway that are asked which is based on the trend, so I know I can always secure 1 marks, and 1 marks really matter for IIT JAM, let me tell you. So like cell biology, you can plan several important topics for biochemistry, for molecular biology, for microbiology, etc. So these are few examples, but you have to do it. Now here comes the most important part. So you know your weakness, I don't know, right? So I cannot really give you a plan. So you have to devise your own plan. For example, I was very weak in biochemistry, so I know I have to spend more time on biochemistry, less time on cell biology or other things. Or for example, you are let's say physiology student, so you already know the physiology part because it is taught in your course. So you need to spend more time on, let's say, immunology or cell biology, etc., right? So this is how you can modulate your own study plan, because you need to know your weakness, your strength, and nobody is going to do that for you, right? You could get some guidance from many educational centers, many institutes or online platforms, but nobody is going to do the study for you. If you go out of your league, you would fall behind, right? So it's totally dependent on you. You are the most important part in this preparation journey. So 4 mistakes that I should say you won't do: that reading from multiple resources. Stick with one particular resource. In a moment I'll tell you what are the best resources, I mean in terms of books. Then don't the biggest mistake is not to do active learning, right? So once you read a particular chapter, you don't start reading from the beginning and end it, right? So you learn topic wise, concept wise. You learn a concept, try to understand how where you can apply this concept, prepare some questions from that part, right? You have to think like the examiner. Exactly. So all of these kind of tips and tricks can be found in my Unacademy lecture. So studying only biology is another big problem, and poor management of time is the like problem for other students, right? So there are like a lot of structured courses that is offered by me in Unacademy, but these are not live courses, these are recorded courses. You can also avail that. And again, I'm telling you, before buy you should try. So obviously there are almost like 50 or 50 above free courses by my name, so you can always go there and get a sense of it, right? It's totally free. So always start making notes, flashcards of your own. Don't depend on somebody else. Even if he is giving it to you, don't do it, because while you are making your customized note, you learn in this process, right? So if somebody is giving you a ready-made note, then that learning process is totally messed up, right? So while you are preparing your own notes based on the trends, you analyze more, you know the subject from a deeper perspective, right? And when somebody is doing it for you, it's basically killing you, it's causing harm to you, right? So though my Unacademy course has a lot of handwritten flashcards like these ones, but the key thing that you should understand that you should be able to make these kind of flashcards. You should not use my flashcards, but you should be able to use your own flashcards. A flashcard would really summarize the whole topic in a go, and this would create a mind map which would help you to remember better and recollect better, let me tell you. So these kind of strategies are also taught in Unacademy. In my course you can get it, but anyway, these are very important. Let's come and talk about the resources. So the Bible for IIT JAM or any MSc level entrance examination is Nelson and Cox, which is Leninger's Principle of Biochemistry. At least you should be reading this book. This is like the NCERT, right? Okay. So other than that, molecular biology of the gene, molecular cell biology, Prescott's microbiology, these are pretty standard textbooks. I would always prefer reading from these standard textbooks and all. Now, sometimes what happens is like you don't have much time, you want a shortcut and everything. Remember, shortcuts are not always good. So then you go for your alternatives, life saviors, Pathfinder books. Well, these books are concise, I would say, but there are benefits of reading textbooks which you can know when you see my Unacademy courses. Okay, there are important previous year MCQ preparation books which are useful to recollect and try to get a sense that how your preparation is going. For physics, chemistry, maths, there are many JEE main type books from Arihan, Dinesh, from where you can start preparing the relevant chapters, not all of the chapter. In the beginning of the video, I talked about some physics topics, right? So you can start looking at those relevant chapters and start preparing those relevant chapters, right? Exactly. Now, alternatives to those fat textbooks, these books are pretty good. These are not so concise compared to the Pathfinder books, but these are pretty good and precise, I would say. So these books are good, and the link might be available in the description, or you can get in from the Amazon. Now let me tell you that Unacademy gives you an opportunity to study whenever you want, wherever you want, right? You don't like to study right now, you can get the lecture tomorrow morning and you can aram se do this lecture in the morning, right? So that's the biggest benefit, guys. I mean, at my time, if Unacademy was there, I should have given a second thought. Okay, lastly, what matters is a small group. Small study groups are always good. When I prepared, I had a kind of like 4 people in this study group, and it really helped. Like sometimes while you are discussing, some things really get embedded in your brain and it helps you to recollect, right? ऐसे तो लगता ही है कि हाँ यार उन लोगों के साथ तो डिस्कस किया था, पढ़ा था, तो ऐसे ही ना हमारा ब्रेन बहुत ही अच्छे से मतलब वो इंफॉर्मेशन को रिट्रीव कर सकता है. So that is why you need a study group. I would always suggest. Now with Unacademy, you can get a study group like Feeling. You might have a WhatsApp group, you can study, discuss questions, etc. Even if you don't have an online platform, you could have your own friends, right, who are preparing for this exam dedicatedly. So do that. It would really make your life a lot easy. So with that, I would say goodbye to you guys. I hope this video was useful. If you like this video, give it a quick thumbs up. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.